Suspects in custody for shooting a BLM activist in London. Just making sure this is recording. A Black Lives Matter activist, Sasha Johnson, is currently in critical condition after sustaining a gunshot wound to the head by a group of 5 black men, authorities have revealed. Last Sunday, the incident occurred around 3 a.m. at a property in Peckham, South London, during a house party. While the investigation is at an early stage, there is nothing to suggest that the woman who was shot was the subject of a targeted attack or that she had received any credible threats against her prior to this incident, the London Metropolitan Police said. Detective Chief Inspector Jimmy Taylor added, "I recognize that this incident will have shocked those in the local community, not really, and further afield, I would ask people to avoid speculating as to the motive or the circumstances behind it. If anyone does have information, the most responsible and helpful action is to share it with the police or to remain anonymous with Crime Stoppers." Initially, multiple sources suggesting that the shooting may have been a target attack, asserting that Johnson had received death threats prior to the incident. Instead, police suspect that Johnson may have been the unintended victim of a drive-by shooting of a house party by a gang. So, I am under the impression that England has gun control laws and they have a ban on firearms. Guess not. British left-wing politician Hackney Abbott tried to incite unrest when she said BLM leader Sasha Johnson was shot for her activism. Police revealed Sasha was partying at 3 a.m. when 4 black men, 5, Andy, shot up the illegal event and one was stabbed. Everyone fled. Socialist British MP falsely claims BLM leader was shot for standing up for... Yeah, that's not true anymore. Black Lives Matter UK expresses our shock and solidarity over the shooting of Sasha Johnson, a young mother and fearless political campaigner who was the forefront of many BLM protests last summer. Seems like no one actually cares. Nadine White. Black Lives Matter activist Sasha Johnson is in critical condition after sustaining a gunshot wound to her head, taking the initiative party has said the attack happened yesterday following numerous death threats as a result of her activism. This might have some more to do with that Sasha Johnson apparently doesn't like when black people go against her and go against her grain rather than with. She apparently wants, loyal, subservient black people to her cause rather than against. London police have released a statement determining there is no evidence Johnson was targeted due to her activism. Seems like it was just a random violent act of violence. Did I say violence twice? I'm sorry about that. Sasha's friend Imam Aiton told the BBC, "As far as I'm aware, this incident is more related to rival gangs as opposed to her activism. Seems like she was at the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong company." And that's me saying that. Wrong place, wrong time, wrong company. That's at least my take. Paramedics took Sasha to the hospital where she remains in critical condition. On Tuesday, detectives arrested 5 people on suspicion of attempted murder of Johnson. Police said Wednesday 2 men aged 25 and 28 and 3 teenagers, 17, 18, and 19, were detained and questioned by detectives. During a vigil held in the Ruskin Park Bandstand in Lambeth, London on Monday afternoon, BLM supporters and other activist groups were looking for another reason to justify the situation by claiming the white media were the ones to blame. This is funny because it's typically the white media giving these people the microphone, if you will. The supporters played drums, ironically chanting Black Power, while also praying to see Miss Johnson pull through and survive her injuries. If race is such a huge deal, I wonder what the race is of the doctors that's working on Sasha Johnson at the moment. After the incident, Labour MP Diane Abbott suggested that absolutely no evidence shows that Johnson had been targeted for activism. Black activist, hashtag Sasha Johnson, in hospital in critical condition after sustaining a gunshot wound to the head. Nobody should have to potentially pay with their life because they stood up for racial justice. That doesn't seem to be the case. Random act of violence, wrong time, wrong place, wrong company. However the situation may unfold, it's very disheartening to see and hear about another senseless violent act. Yes, it is. Especially when a false narrative is being spread. Even more so. You'd hate to see some person to be harmed or killed, and then for their deaths to be spun in a narrative that's made into race. And especially when the people responsible for the drive-by appear to be black. It seems that even in countries other than America, there's always an assumption as to why. It is important to always wait for all the information to come forward before we place blame on any individual or speculate their motive. This story is developing. Alright, that's it. Yeah, my opinion is that, well, this is a pretty shitty thing that happened. I really wish that violence didn't have to befall onto people, but it seems like violence didn't befall onto this person because of her political beliefs or her racial justice tangents or things of the nature. It just seems like she was in the wrong place, wrong time, wrong company, during a time of unrest between street gangs. There was a house party, an illegal one at that, and you know, she was just a subject of a random drive-by. And the 5 people were arrested, and I'm sure they're going to be investigated for their actions and their motivations, and the truth will come out. I just gotta recommend to people that not come to their own truths as opposed to waiting for the truth. I mean, let's just be patient, wait for the facts to come out, wait for the police to do their job and conclude their investigation. And hopefully Sasha Johnson will make a speedy recovery and she will return to her household and raise her daughter and possibly even conclude and complete the rest of her social justice activism. I wish no harm to fall on this person. Have a good day.